put this on silent. Yeah, send her a message. Attending.
Jessica.
Oh, we're live. Okay.
Hi. We are live.
Howdy.
Y'all, listen here. Let me make sure I have all the technical things put together because I hope all of you all know. If you don't know, I'm always the one jacking up stuff. And so I want to make sure that we're recording so we can play this back. And perfect. So the reason why Jessica's head is down, we have an amazing guest today. Her name is Ashley Ann Jones, aka Ashley Jones, aka Ashley Ann, who runs Ashley Ann Events. And can you all hear me? Hey, oh yeah. Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? I wish that like the recorded part, like you could see the chats because because then we look real crazy, like talking to people that are typing, you know, for the playback, which is crazy. But at any rate, I'm so happy to see you all. Mm-hmm. Are you happy to see everybody?
I am.
Okay, this is why her energy is off. Jessica has booked some of the biggest celebrities ever on the face of the planet. What's been your largest, what's been the biggest celebrity you've ever booked?
Well, I used to help with getting Kanye into different facilities.
Bam, Kanye. Okay, yeah. One of her clients was Kanye West. Okay, let's just put that out there. So you can only imagine how Jessica is feeling right now, knowing that, not saying that Ashley Ann is not on Kanye West level, because I think we all are Kanye West. We are whatever the heck we want to be. But she feels very defeated when people don't show up to their interview. And things happen. Like Ashley could be in traffic. Her phone, it could have been an emergency. Who knows what could happen? Life happens. And so Jessica and I relate to rolling this because we're like, oh my God, we're trying to call her. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And there's no reason why, there is a good reason why she's not here. But that still doesn't negate the fact that we're live with you all and we promised you this amazing interview. And I said, why don't we use this? Hey, oh, where's she at? Oh, she says, I'm here. What are y'all talking about? Well, girl, you got to log in. You got an email. There is an email that shows that you're a panelist. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it through here. Hold on a second. Oh my gosh. You see? Yeah. You see how you was all panicking? Yo, we were going to use this as Okay, we promoted you to panelist turning. Look at that.
And she's so beautiful.
Yay. Yay. So we were going to use this as when stuff happens in your business, you just got to roll with the flow and see what happens. But we don't got to roll because she's here.
Yay. Her mic's
Yay. Put you're on mute. Let's see here. Hold on. Let's see. Yay.
Hi there, beautiful.
Yay.
Hello.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We were just going to try to just roll with it and be like, look, what are some times that stuff didn't go the way it didn't go for you? And how did you have to roll with the punches? So let's start here because you're in the events industry. So when is a point in time where you were like, look, somebody was supposed to be here at this time. My career, my everything was on the line. They didn't do it. And you had to pull something out of nothing. You didn't even have limes or lemons or water or rinds or even garbage. And how did you make it happen?
That happens all the time in the event industry. I tell clients all the time, there's always something that goes wrong. You know, our job is to fix it and to be able to think quick on our feet. So that's an everyday occurrence for me. And I think anyone in media, that's an everyday occurrence too. That's why they have backup lists. That's why they have other people they can call. There are people that cancel interviews, travel things happen, problems with technology. And that's normally when they can roll over to the B side. It's just a part of the game and a part of being professional.
Yes, but can you give us an example, a real life, thing where it was like, hey, this is the story. That was so PG, like in corporate. Like, what's the juice behind it? Can you give us something that maybe has some more color or shed some more insight on how you just had to roll with the punches in a very critical situation?
I mean, technically, I feel like I'm rolling with the punches right now because I don't appreciate where the conversation was going. And I was here 15 minutes early and I used the links that you guys provided to me. So, and I'm still here. Yeah. So, it happens. You just do what you need to do.
Well, I hope you don't, and I apologize if anything that I said, because I was the only one talking, anything that I said offended you, and I would love to be better. I was just saying, look, things happen, and I said, hey, she could be in an accident, she can be whatever. It was not out of malice. I'm happy that you're here. We love to support women. This is why we're doing it, Women Crushing Wednesday, and we just thought to use it as a learning experience, but not to throw shade or anything like that. So please accept my sincerest apologies. If I offended you, however I can make it better, I will. I'm happy that you're here. We're glad that we can share your story. And don't think that it would have been going anywhere negative at all. We had planned to share stories where we had to roll with the punches and just roll with it and see what happens. So I apologize for any offense that I may have said in the conversation before, you went live on camera.
Yeah, I hear you. And I guess, like I said, everyone runs everything different ways. So typically, our standard protocol before we cancel someone else out or say that they're not going to show up, we normally will give courtesy calls and a couple emails, text messages, that sort of type of thing. And for us, and, I'm not sure how long you ladies have been running the show, but I've been doing events for 12 years as of January 19th. So I always have a backup or a rabbit in my hat, and you roll with it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't think the details of how many calls, I think for the sake of this call and for the people that are here wanting to hear your story, I think just keeping it positive, this is something that we can talk about offline or what have you. And I hope that you're still willing to.
I definitely am. I'm not sure where you're going with it right now, but I'm still here and I easily could have vominos. You asked me a question and I'm answering
that
it.
is
Now,
true.
if you, I apologize if you don't like the way that I'm answering the question, but you asked me something and I'm answering it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's go back into events and where you're at.
I actually want to have you do your phenomenal introduction that you do on your live streams, where you drop your numbers and things like that for our listeners and our viewers.
Yeah, sure thing. And first of all, thank you for having me and thinking of me. And I do want to communicate, you take every opportunity that you can. Sometimes people tell me that they're surprised that I will do different things. Like, I feel like as long as there's at least one person there, sure, why not? It's a part of your progression. So to your audience members that don't know, it's very difficult for me to make it here today. I'm on vacation, but I've also had 4 surgeries on my spine. And so I'm having a very difficult week with very limited motion of my arms, my fingers, my hands, and not even being able to walk. So I'm actually in a lot of pain as I'm sitting here today. But I say all of that to say whatever it is that you have going on in life, whether it's loss, whether it's health, whether it's a hurdle, whether it's you couldn't get a permit pass, whether you're having issues with your capital, whether your kids, your spouse is acting up, whatever it is, it's all momentary and you have to keep working towards your goals. And keep in mind, you're working out on the planet Earth, you're competing against people like me, people who don't stop. And we are able to compartmentalize things and say, hey, this is what it is. This pain that I'm in is not going to be forever, whether it's emotional pain or physical pain or mental pain. And you keep working towards your goals because there's a time and a place for everything. And I just wanted to put that out there because I think a lot of times it's definitely men and women, but I can't speak from a man's perspective because I'm not a man. There are several women who have so much greatness inside of them, and because of a personal issue or an emotional issue or a bad relationship or something like that, you almost just let your life stop and you put things on pause and you get lost and caught up in that. And you have to realize whatever it is that you have going on, if you have a mission or a vision or a purpose or a business, you have to keep pushing towards that in spite of what goes wrong, because things are going to go wrong and you're going to have uncomfortable moments in your life. And it really boils down to how bad do you want it?
Wow.
So
That's powerful.
just throwing that out there to any of the women who are listening, you know, and you have some type of hurdle that you have to overcome, or you're dealing with an uncomfortable situation in your life right now. You know, don't let it stop you. You got to deal with whatever that thing is, and we work on fixing it. But in the meantime, still dedicate at least a couple of hours to your work, which is probably how I got to the numbers that I have. So I'm really excited and proud to say that I've helped 357 people create 6 and 7 figure incomes. Over 4,900 people generate revenue with their social media. I've helped over 1,000 people generate in between $25,000 and $45,000 with their LinkedIn and Facebook accounts. Those are typically people who are servicing B2B. I've helped over 300 clients generate in between $8,000 and $12,000 with their live stream. That's just been in the past 2 years because live streaming has become available to anyone who wants to push the broadcast button. And I just love business. I love everything about it. I love helping people reach and meet their goals, and whatever it is, no matter how crazy it sounds. You know, I feel like the advantage that a lot of us have is we live in America, and the best thing about America is you can make money doing almost anything. So I feel like if it's something that you're passionate about and you love it, there's definitely a way to monetize it.
Wow, those are unbelievable statistics. You are bringing tears to Jessica's eyes right now. And the comments are like, wow, oh my goodness. And just the simple fact that even despite it all, you are here and you are sharing it and you are still grinding. So there's so many people that will be crippled by just like, let's just say, oh, who was it? I was like, oh my gosh, get over it. We had one of our interns that like, you know, losing a toenail is a big, like it hurts like hell, but it doesn't mean that like you lose your toenail and your life is over. You know what I'm saying? So we had like a runner intern, and I'm like, oh my gosh, get over it. You just lost your toenail. And she was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. Like, why am I letting this toenail cripple me? I'm like, people go through things a lot more. And Les Brown talks about this. He says in this motivational video I'm always watching, when life kicks you down, if you were laying on your back and you can still look up, get up. Like just get up and keep grinding. And when you ask yourself, why me? What a dumb question, because it's like, who else would you choose? Like, should it be someone else? And then on top of that, to grind and then get results. Yes. To grind and then get results. I mean, that's just amazing in itself. So with all of the money that you could be making with, you know, helping B2B clients online, why choose events that is so hands-on, so stressful, so crazy, so tedious, so detail-oriented, needing to put so many people together? Like, why that?
That's my passion, and it's one of my gifts. So I have a lot of talents. God bless me with a tremendous amount of talents, and I think a lot of us have a lot of talents. But I have 3 very distinct gifts. So I have the gifts of beautification, business, and hospitality. And so, you know, thank the Lord, he gave me the gift of business. So I've been able to figure out how to use all of them to make money. And I'm kind of a strange butterfly. Most creative people aren't really good with the business side, and most business people aren't really creative. So I'm a strange butterfly because I kind of get to use both sides of my brain. So even when I was a little kid, I was the child that was always like literally rearranging my room like every other month. Back in the day when they used to give people brown paper bags at the grocery store, the paper sacks, my mama would let me take the paper sacks, turn them inside out, and cover a whole entire wall. And I would make murals. I didn't realize that they were murals at the time when I was little, but I would do murals all the time. And I'd get bored at looking at it, and I'd take it down. So I've always been like an artsy, creative kid. There are a lot of creative people on my mom's side of the family. She's very stylish and an amazing designer, and she's a really good drawer as well and painter. When I was little, I would submit stuff in art competitions and I would win all the time. So events is just an artistic expression, and it also lines up with my purpose, because even though I have the gifts of business and beautification and hospitality, my real purpose on the planet Earth is I'm a manifester. I just work through the realms of money and finance. Because if I can help you make money, that alleviates a stress and a pressure out of people's lives. And if you can wake up and you're happy every single day because you get to do what you love, well, that's more joy, that's more abundance, that's more peace. So, and sometimes I manifest things through events. It's the same thing. I didn't realize until I was maybe 24 or 25, but if you come to me with your vision, you know, maybe you're 45 years old and you've taken care of everyone your whole life and you've never done anything for yourself and no one's ever thrown a party for you. I get clients like that all the time and they go, you know, I want my 45th birthday to be amazing. So to be able to take their ideas and their thoughts and kind of figure out what they want, put it into a sketch on paper, and then turn it into a room that sometimes hundreds or thousands of people are standing in, it's a manifestation. So I love the event thing because I'm really able to give people something that they a lot of times have dreamed about their whole entire lives. And it's really cool because to be able to just take a thought and turn it into a reality. And now there are hundreds of people enjoying it or thousands of people, depending on the size of the event. It's a kick. It's like a rush. And then it's on to the next project. So it never gets boring.
That's amazing. You're just such an inspiration. So you just told us how you were.
Oh, you're sweet.
You told us why you do it. Tell us what has been your biggest issue with having your own business thus far?
The biggest issue thus far, I would say probably when I was starting off, because I wasn't as open to different opportunities and methods of doing things as I've learned to be, you know, over the past decade or so. And I think a lot of us fall prey to that. Not all of us, but a lot of us. You know, you kind of have your idea in your brain of how business is supposed to work. And, you know, I had my master's degree. And so I went through a program for entrepreneurs and stuff. And I did everything by the book, everything they were teaching me. And I was still failing. I couldn't get it right. And then sometimes you look at other people's models of success and you go, oh, well, I think, you know, maybe I'll try that. And it still wasn't working. So it's very frustrating to know I wasn't being frivolous. I wasn't being careless. You know, I was investing. I was running these ads. I was doing these posts. I was going to my networking meetings. I was doing all these things that they teach you you're supposed to do. And I still wasn't succeeding. And I had to learn, you know, you be stubborn about your goals and the desires, but flexible about the methods. So just learning to be open to whatever it was or whoever God wanted to send my way, or, you know, whatever opportunity came, and saying, okay, it may have not come in the package that I expected it to be in. It may have not come from the person I thought it was going to come from, but it's here and I need to take it and use it, and then really adjusting my eyes to be able to recognize opportunity and the resources that I had around me. I think a lot of times we think I have to have this or it has to look like that. And it's like in reality, you really already have everything inside of you and immediately around you to get to the next level. You just have to be creative with the way you use it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So throughout this, it just seems like, you know, when you watch like, sometimes when you watch like really sappy movies, sometimes you don't like it when there's like nothing tragic happens. You're like, that was just too happy. Have you ever like watched a movie like that? Like, why are they fell in love? They had kids. The dog stayed alive. The dog had puppies. Like, oh my gosh, everything was a miracle. And your story, and especially in the beginning, we know that you invested like $200,000 and was in the red. So this ain't everybody. This is not that, oh my gosh, she got married, had the kids, the dog had puppies, the puppies had puppies, and she built this thing. She lost $200,000.
Yes.
So what happened with that?
Part, and she didn't stop.
And you didn't stop. So at that point, okay, forget the toenail that broke. Okay. The debilitating lost toenail. I'm dead. Like, and some people have killed themselves. No, this is like real talk. People have taken their lives due to failure in business because it is that serious.
It's devastating because when you're an entrepreneur, like, you have to eat, breathe, think it. And even when you're trying not to think about it, it's still there. It consumes you. It becomes your life. And so to fail at that magnitude, can be really crushing, you know, and I've definitely dropped my share of thug tears in the past, but I think that's when kind of having a support system and a belief system can help to pull you out of the hole. And you got to find you some other people who, even if they don't understand what you're doing, sometimes they can pour into you. It's a very dangerous place to become completely isolated, I feel, you know, for several reasons, because if you're all the way isolated, there's nobody ever to pull your card and say, you know what, that may be going a little bit too far, you know, or you don't want to do that. And it's also a very dangerous place once you become isolated, because just as humans by nature, we automatically gravitate towards negative thoughts, negative comments, negative actions, you know. So when you're by yourself in isolation, there's no one to counter whatever that crazy crap is that you're speaking, you know, over your life and over yourself. And what you'll find with a lot of the people who fail in business, who commit suicide, a lot of them, you know, everybody in their family, all their friends, their coworkers, their colleagues, everyone says, well, I had no idea they felt that way, because they didn't want to express and speak to someone else. And if they did, it probably would have been someone to counter and say, you know what, it's really not, you know, as bad as you think it is, or maybe let's try this or that and see if we can turn it around. So I definitely think the reason I didn't fall into that trap and stay there is because I had people around me, mainly probably my daddy and my sister were my two biggest supporters, who, you know, they could say, you know what, it sucks today, but it's okay. Up and you try it again tomorrow. And then I think too, if there's something that's inside of you and you just, something is telling you that it's going to work, you know, when you pray and say, God, give me a sign, give me an answer, and he sends you a sign to say, keep going, then I think you can kind of keep going. What's that quote? It says, everyone thought Noah was crazy until it rained.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, you bring up this point though. You said that your dad and your sister were behind you. That is almost like the complete opposite of what we hear with a lot of our entrepreneurs, because a lot of times their family are the naysayers.
Yeah, my mama was a naysayer and I love her. She supports me, but she was completely not with it.
So who outside of your family did you have to bring on board that you had to trust like family through this process? And then how did you like vet them out?
Honestly, nobody. It took a long time before I started integrating people that I could trust. To this day, my logistic teams, they're a bunch of retired military veterans that run a bunch of big, huge, muscly, you know, Army vets, Marine vets.
I would trust them.
Navy
I would trust them.
And they're my dad's friends who would come and help us set up, and they're my skeleton crew. You know, I cannot tell you how many people I hired that would come on just to see what they could take from me or learn what they could do or go out and become my competition. And so I just kind of stopped, and what I started doing was working with interns, and the interns that we liked a lot, we would offer them positions and say, and I still do that to this day. The two new team members I have, they're ladies who interned with us last year, and they did a phenomenal job. And I said, I know you came for an internship, but we would like to offer you a position, because it's fantastic, you know, working with someone who is open to learning. You know, and even some of them, there's one, we know she's not going to stay with us. She has her own business and we want her business to thrive and to grow. But it's like, in the meantime, well, we can be your first client, you know, as you're growing what you want to do. But there are tons of people. I wish I could say that business is like sweet and sunshine and flowers. You attract some of those people, but I feel like I have to maybe throw like 20 snakes at the pool before I meet the one person that's another good person, if I'm just being honest. And I think you got to get a tough skin, and you have to learn to be fair to other people and also fair to yourself, and not feel like a bad person if you want something from someone else. Relationships are mutually beneficial. If one person is coming and they're getting from you and they're taking from you and you're not benefiting in any type of way, you've been used. And I think a lot of times as women, we're conditioned, you know, you're a woman, so you're supposed to be sweet and sugary and everyone's supposed to like you. And You don't want to rock the boat, and, you don't want to be selfish. It's selfish to expect something. No, it's not. If I'm nice to you, what is wrong with me expecting you to be nice back to me? Mm-hmm. If I'm fair to you, what's wrong with expecting you to be fair back to me? If we're on a joint project and I'm supposed to do 10 things on this task list, then what is wrong with me with expecting you to do the other 10 things on the task list if that's what we agreed upon? So I had to learn a bunch of expensive lessons and painful lessons before I got that. But just realistically, if I know that you are coming to use me or take something from me, well, okay, that's fine. What can I take from you? We're gonna be mutual takers, because I'm tired of getting used.
Mutual takers.
We're gonna be mutual takers. I mean, that's the truth.
That's real life.
Be a long-lasting relationship. Everyone is not going to be someone that you can call on and get this later, or that they're going to help you out. There are a lot of people who they're just here, they're opportunists. What can I get? Is this a step to my next level? And they will move on. And I wish I could say that the majority of the world are on the other side and have maybe the same mind frame that I have, or the same set, and I'm loyal, you're loyal, we're going to work together and do the best to help one another out. But unfortunately, I have to weed out a lot of kind of garbage and trash before I get to a really amazing person. But it's worth it, because once you guys find each other, you build this incredible network, mm-hmm. and you're able to help one another grow and push each other into other opportunities. But you have to be alert, and you can't be naive, and you have to make sure you're watching people's actions more so than their words.
Before I ask this question, because I want to know about some of the qualities that you look for when you bring people in your mutual taker trust circle. Before I say that, and tell me what you think about this statement. I met with a potential new mentor that I'm going to take on, or who's going to take me on. What am I talking about? But it's a mutual taker.
Y'all are taking each other on.
Right.
No, y'all are taking each other on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he said something to me. I was like, oh my gosh. And I said, well, why aren't people just good? I was just talking about how I just give, and people just aren't giving back. Why aren't people good? And he said, well, if you are darkness, you are going to head towards the light.
Yeah, that's right.
So if they're darkness, they're mm-hmm. attracted to you, because they are who wants to be in pitch blackness? And so you're right. That light, so they are coming towards you. And so what you need to do is figure out, how do you protect yourself, right, mm-hmm. first, and be whole enough, what you talked about, being prepared to help them see their darkness. Your job isn't to take away their darkness. Your job is to be so much light that they see their darkness and can fix it on their own. How do you feel about that? And then what are some things that you look for when you build a mutual taker relationship?
I think that that's a very wise statement. I would probably just tweak it a little bit. I think it's some people, it is your job to help them see their darkness, but I think it's some of them, you just need to run for the hills, stay completely away. Because some people, they're dark and they know they're dark, and honestly, they just do not. There are some people I've met before, and I'm like, oh my God, you cannot have a soul. I've watched them just be awful to other people, and so that's why I was like, watch the actions, because if I see you just are terrible to other people, I don't want to deal with you. I'm not even fixing to give you the opportunity to come over here and be terrible to me. That is your pattern of behavior. No, thank you. Keep it over there. Do not come in. You're not invited to my house. You cannot come in through my door. Keep it over there. I think that this mentor that you're about to work with is absolutely right. I do feel like that givers, we have to be careful. We have to learn to vet people first and see if they're worthy of us giving our time and our resources and our opportunities and connections and knowledge and help and assistance. And like I said, it's a very tough lesson to learn, because when you're a giver, you just don't think anything about it, because taking is not inside of your nature. And it is true. Takers are very attracted to givers. They find you like a beeline, like a missile. It's like they can sniff you out. I call them empty Ericas and empty Erics. And they come to you to get filled up. And the moment you ask them for something, there's always some reason why they can't be there. There's always some reason why they can't do it. There's always, some excuse. And you don't even have to be asking them for anything physical. It could be something as simple as, you've had a hard day and you want some advice, and Empty Eric or Empty Erica, now they will call you, sit on the phone with you for months and months and weeks and weeks and weeks and days, and tell you all about all the problems in their life and want you to pray for them and help them and what do they need and listen to me and blah. And the minute you have, oh girl, I gotta go cook dinner. Oh girl, my man is calling. Oh girl, I'm late for such and such and such. They're never there, for anyone. And so I think it's important to guard yourself from those type of people. And I really had to learn that doesn't make me a bad person because I won't allow you to use me, because I won't allow you to take advantage of me. No, the shame on them for wanting to come in and try and take you for everything that you have. And then we have to learn how to set up boundaries.
That's true.
We have to learn how to set up boundaries and say, well, you know what, this is my limit of what I will give. And if it goes beyond that, I'm not comfortable doing that. And if you want more than that, well, then you go to somebody else. Because I guarantee once they suck you dry, they're going to be on to the next victim anyway. That's just how those people roll. It's just what they do.
No, it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you know you're dealing with a user, then you say, okay, I know what this is. I know what you want from me. What can I get from you? And if you can't figure out to where you can get something from them, as well, I would say leave it alone, because nobody has time to be drained. We have things we got to do. We got to be able to keep our energy up. We have to be able to stay balanced, and you can't pour from an empty cup. So you just got to be able to say, you know what? I know that this person doesn't really want to be my friend. I know that I really have met people. I know that they want to get to this, or they want to get to this person, or they want to be seen with me because they feel like this can help them with XYZ. When sometimes I'm a very direct person. I'll say, well, look, I know that this is what you really want.
Girl,
you have this. You have this. Yes. And I told them, I say, hey, you got this over here. So this is what we can do. We can work together on a project. And if you deliver this, I'll deliver that. Thank you very much. Nice doing business with you. Keep it pushing.
I'm not mad at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
and
great.
you got to be careful. You got to be careful not to try and be friends with them.
Okay, so that's the hard part. So even in the comments, Mariah says setting boundaries is the hardest challenge for me. It's very hard, especially for people that are the light. You just want to be like, oh girl, it is so hard to find good Black girls that can read and write that care about each other. Do you know what I'm trying to tell you? So when we find somebody, it's I just want to hug you. Oh my God, I found you. Where have you been my whole life?
Yeah. I feel the same way, but that's the problem. That's the trap. As a giver, you have to stop yourself, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself getting slapped in the face again. You have to pump your brakes and say, hold up, let me give it some more time. Let me see what unfolds with this person over the next month. And I'm just going to do a little bit and a little bit and a little bit at a time, because I guarantee if it's a taker, they ain't over their mindset. It just does not work the same way ours does. Givers never think about what we can get from anyone. Right. If you ask a giver, you can ask a giver, well, what can I help you with? What do I need you to do? You know what we do? Well, I know I need help with something, but I'm not sure. Can I get back to you? We don't know, because we're so used to doing for other people.
You know what you're talking
about? We don't know, because we're used to doing for other people. So we have to practice receiving, and we have to practice asserting ourselves and saying, well, I want this from you. You want this from me, and I would like that from you. So if I can help you with this, can you help me with that? And you get that yes, and you make sure that they're making the steps. And if they're not, there's nothing wrong with you pulling back and saying, well, I can't do that. Well, why? Because we agreed on XYZ and you didn't do that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
so that's that.
Challenge. Mm-hmm. But it's
a challenge, but you got to practice doing it.
Yeah, but don't you feel like if we do this in like our day-to-day business lives, I feel like our romantic relationships would be so much better off, and we wouldn't be stuck with no good dude too.
Yeah.
Because it like bleeds into it, you know? Maybe take it. Like this is supposed to be about business and not about bashing dudes, but like it kind of goes hand in hand.
I don't feel like you're bashing. I don't feel like you're bashing a dude. I feel like it's a true statement. I know a ton of women who are really amazing, and they're with partners that are not so great, and it comes from it kind of starts when you're a little kid. Like, okay, let's say you're at a family reunion or something, and the little girl comes in, and everybody goes, "Oh, do you have a boyfriend?" And then she's like, "No," and they're like, "Good, stay away from boys. They're terrible, blah 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 blah," right? Or "Oh, that's sweet. You have a little boyfriend. That's so nice. You be a good girl and stick with him," and this and this and that. They start conditioning you from like a young age, and then the little boy comes in. "Oh, you got a girlfriend?" And the little boy's like, "Yeah." "Oh, no, you're supposed to be a player. You're supposed to have 5 or 6 boyfriends. You're not supposed to, 5 or 6 girlfriends. You're not supposed to be locked into anybody, yada, yada. Like, it starts as a conditioning from, like, as children, and they're putting, like, 2 different things on them. Or if a boy has 3, I got 3 girlfriends. "Ah, yeah, player. That's what's up. That's my nephew. That's what," that sort of type of thing. So it starts from the time that we're younger. They're almost conditioning us as women to not expect anything and to not assert ourselves. And, I'm only supposed to give, and because that proves my virtue. If I'm giving and I'm never asking for anything in return, that means I'm a good person. Especially if you grew up in the church, because I had that battle for a long time. And it does not mean you're a bad person if you expect other people to treat you with the same respect and kindness and love and thoughtfulness that you're treating them with.
Brittany says, sometimes they can't go where God is taking you. Drop them.
I agree.
Yes, drop them. And I'm going to put drop them like it's hot. I'm going to add the like it's hot.
Like it's hot.
So we do have a question. One of our attendees, you got something before I ask that?
I do want to ask you a question before we get to some of the questions that have come in through the chat box. We talked about mentoring earlier, and I know that with your business, right, when you hit that roadblock, you yourself got a mentor. Can you talk about that experience and why you thought that was important?
I think it's important to invest in yourself. And there's this thing, the learning curve is true. And why do I need to spend years trying to figure out what someone else already knows? And not only are you wasting the years and time, you're wasting a lot of your resources. And it actually becomes quite expensive trying to figure out these things on your own that you don't know how to do. So now you're investing money and time and thought and creativity and energy and crafts. You're investing all of this stuff into something, and you're not even really sure if you're doing it the correct way. And many times we find out we didn't do it the proper way. So then you got to go out and redo it again. So to find someone that has already been there, or they're already where I would like to be, if I can get the opportunity to work under them or work with them, God dang it, I'm going to take it. And people thought that I was crazy for the program that I invested in, but it was worth every dime. $15K for 8 hours, didn't blink an eye. Because within 30 days, I started consistently booking 6-figure clients on the event and production side. I come from, Arkansas. There's not a lot of people around here having $1 million parties and, $400,000 and $500,000 galas and stuff like that. I had to figure out how to get out. Right? You got about Walmart, Tyson, Dillard's, maybe them, and, a couple other families, but it's just not the Murphy oil people, but it's just not common. It's not a lot here. And I had to be able to grow. And then I would get frustrated because I'm right here. And then they would bring in people from like New York and Dallas and Louisiana and stuff like that. So I had to learn how to grow. And I was like, what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I don't know? So I went and found somebody that knows.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. I love this.
Yes. She's amazing.
Like, hallelujah. You know what? Can I just say, I thank God that the interview started off freaking rocky, because it just made everyone understand like that you don't play, you don't mess around, but at the same time you are human and you're not one of those awful, evil takers. Like, this is like the best turnaround interview I think I've ever done in my whole entire life. So here's a question for one from anonymous person in the chat. They said, what advice do you have for African-American women? Ooh, I like this one. Who aspire to enter a business sector that is dominated by white men in a city with few Black business owners to offer support?
Girl, you preaching to the choir. I own the event design and production company, but also own another company called Ashley and Speaks. I've been doing that for 7 years. I consult with people. I got business on the other side as my gift, and more specifically, I'm really bomb with social media. More specifically with creating traffic and followers, and then converting those people into buyers. So I'm a strategist. So I work with all kinds of companies. I'm really excited. We just finished like this big partnership with Google and stuff, and we're gonna keep training and working with them. But that is what I do. And if you look in the social media or the online business and marketing industry, it is dominated by primarily white men.
Yep.
I don't know how many other Black faces you see around there. Not really. Okay. The top 2 people I can think of that are non-white men. One would be Ty Lopez, and he's a man, but he's Latin. He's not white, but he's a man. And then, oh God, Billy Jean, he's making a come up too, and he's a Black man. But when I started, I was like, there's no one that looks like me that teaches business. There's no one that looks like me that teaches people how to start off when they have little to nothing. There's no one that looks like me that teaches ads training. So first thing I would tell you is be yourself, and you use that to your advantage. The fact that you're an African-American woman and there are not other people out there that look like you, that's your calling card, and it's going to make people remember you. Whatever it is that makes you different, use that to your advantage. I use my big hair and I use my accent because it makes people remember me. Even if they don't remember my name, they remember what I do and what I look like. And it's really cool because you're going to attract other people to you because they're like, man, it's somebody I can relate to. Right. The second thing that I would tell you, don't try and be like everyone else. Whoever your target demographic is, find out what language they speak, and you got to be able to communicate to them in that language. It doesn't make you, below someone because you're different. It just means they're over here and you're over there. We're on the same level, we're just different, and we service a different community or a different niche of people. And when people can relate to you and they understand what you're saying to them, you're winning. So keep in mind, you can reach a whole nother population of people that those white men can never reach. And there's power in that, okay?
Wow.
The third thing I would tell you to think about is don't limit yourself to your geographical location. Thank God for the internet. It has its pluses and it also has its minuses. But the biggest advantage that the internet has to you, you're able to build your brand quickly, and you can reach people who are far beyond who you can get to, with a plane, train, or automobile. Thanks to live streaming, I literally have clients in Canada. I have clients in the Bahamas. I have clients in Brazil. I have clients in London. We have clients all over the place now because of the internet. So use what you have as a resource, and don't worry so much about local support, because I didn't have a lot of local support here. Now there's a lot of people who want to work with me and, let's do this and let's do that. It took years to get there, and I'll be like, I'm not here for it, because you wasn't at the rehearsal. You're not about to pop on my stage. I work with who wants to work with me. So, but now, that like, oh my God, she's opening up, her third office, and look at all these people that are following her, and I'm starting to see on interviews, and oh my God, she has a book with Kim Coles, and no, I was doing it right in front of you the whole time. And that's what you have to keep in mind. You're doing it in front of people the whole time. It doesn't matter who supports them. You pray and you ask God, you say, God, open my eyes, and you put people in front of me who are going to help me become the woman that I need to be and help me to grow my business in the way that I need to grow it. And God, you make it so that I can add something to them, whatever it is that they are seeking or that they need, that I can supply that to them, so that we can find one another and work together, and just be open to where it comes from, because you never could have told me 5 years ago that I would be broadcasting on freaking Instagram Live and Periscope, and it would open up all of these other tremendous opportunities to me in my life. When I first started broadcasting on Periscope, my goal was literally just to make an extra $1,000 a month with it. I was like, oh, this would be worth my time if I can make an extra G with it every month. That was my goal, which is nuts because now we have weekends where we do $140,000, $150,000 primarily because of our live stream. It's
Wow.
insane. So you got to be just open to the opportunity and being open to work with other people, and don't expect people who are around you geographically necessarily to be who's going to be the team that's going to, you know, propel you. Like even right now, my team members are everywhere. Shout out to the internet. You know, we have people in Mississippi. There's another member in Alabama. There's another one of the girls in Louisiana. Tracy and Shay are the only two in Arkansas with me. Everyone is for everyone else. Mary is in North Carolina. Like they're all over the place. Tashina is in the UK. Everybody's everywhere. So you would be amazed what you can build by just kind of gravitating towards who wants to work with you.
We want to be respectful of your time. Jessica, what's your closing question?
Well,
this went by so fast. Like,
it actually did.
Man.
I want to forfeit my last question, and I want you to drop a little more knowledge about what you do and what you provide for our people that are actually listening, so that they could be motivated with their businesses to see all that you encompass. Like, you do so much. So,
okay. So to sum it up my short, you know, your girl got a lot of jobs. I'm a worker bee. So, I speak and I train. And so people book me to come, you know, I do keynotes, but also do trainings on like social media conversions, return paths, funnels, you know, all that kind of stuff. I dabble in real estate. I do drop shipping stores. I, of course, have the event design and production company, and you know, as of this year, now I'm a #1 best-selling author. That's still nuts. So Monday through Thursdays, which is my favorite thing, I do the late night business show. So you can find me on Instagram or Periscope at King Ashley Ann. It's around 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm going to say around because sometimes I'm late. Okay. So just start looking for me around 11 p.m. and I will appear. But it's a lot of fun because I do absolutely, completely, totally free business trainings. So this month we're focused on growth and conversion. I've been trying to get everybody ready for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We've been having amazing receipts in the kingdom. So like last week we had one lady, she did $1,125. Then I had another kingdom member, she did $767 in 2 days. I had another young lady, she did $2,000 in less than 48 hours. I had my fourth young lady, she closed a $10,000 contract. Another did a $15,000 contract. So we get receipts. Like I'm not holding back. And that's what people say, that they're surprised when they come to the trainings. I'm not there to upsell you into a bunch of stuff. Now, of course, I have products and services, you know, for sale, and I would love to work with you guys one-on-one, or, you know, y'all come to my webinars and workshops and stuff. But my thought process is, if I can help you solve a problem, right, and I can help you generate some coin, well, I don't have to worry about you coming back and buying something from me. You're going to come back to me anyway, because I helped you get to that bag. When it's time to get to a bigger bag, you're going to want to come and rock with me. And then also, though, it's bigger than my finances. I'm working in service. Like I said, this is my calling, not to get all holy moly, super spiritual, whatever, but this is my service. And if I serve people the way that I'm directed to, the money is a byproduct for me. So I'm blessed to wake up every single day and help people achieve their goals. And there's so much misinformation out there. And I get emotional sometimes because I am where I used to be, where a lot of people are now. I started with $125 in my laptop. I worked and worked and worked, drove down through my savings, ended up, you know, 200K under, out here trying to live my dream and run a business. And I can't tell you how many bogus products and courses and so-called coaches and stuff that I ran into along the way. It definitely has sharpened me and given me much better discernment now. And I see them people coming from like 10 miles down the road. I'm like, you stay over there. I'm going to rebuke you today. Get on down. But it's to assist all the other people like me. I know that there are so many of us that are successful. I know that there are so many of us who have amazing ideas and products and services. You just kind of need the roadmap or the recipe. It's like, even if you're not that good of a cook, if somebody gives you a recipe to the cake, you can probably still make the cake because they told you what to do. So I got tired of all this misinformation out there, and I literally would talk to somebody every day who had dropped $7,000, $10,000, $40,000 going through these people's programs, and they still weren't making any money. Houses in foreclosure, cars getting repoed, just all kinds of stuff because they're trying to do what they could. And that was just my way to do something about it. I was like, I'm going to start the late night business show, and I'm going to get out here and literally teach people for free the information that people hide from people. And so I get on Monday through Thursday nights, and that's what I do. I teach, and I love it. And it's so much fun. And it's very rewarding to have so many people come in like, oh my God, they tell me I spent, $2,700 on somebody's program, and I've learned more from you in a week for free than I did inside of that class. And then they come back the next week and they go, I did what you told me to do, and I made $5,000. So that's so much fun for me. I love it. And it validates me, and it gives me the energy to keep going, to keep doing it because it's worth it and people are using it.
They say the fastest or the easiest way or the way you become a millionaire is by helping somebody else become a millionaire. And that's how
I believe that.
Helping someone else. I have to say, what a joy this has been. Thank you so much for taking the time out to just bless us with so much knowledge, inspiration, realness. And again, please accept my sincerest apology in the beginning. It was no malice, no harm, no shade, no nothing. I'm sorry. And I'm so grateful that you took this time. This was so valuable. And what I loved is that you came with facts. It's so many people that you get inspired by, oh my God, I feel good. But what did she do again? Yeah. She made me feel good, but what kind of results did I actually get? But I know I feel good inside, but we're just clueless. And the whole purpose of this, we want people to see that it's not just women talking a whole bunch of smack. It's people that are actually garnering results. And so for those people that think that it's not possible, it is, because this woman here it's possible. Mm-hmm. And you may go through some bumps along the way, $200,000 worth of bumps. But look at her. Ooh. It's kind of nigga, we made it.
I just want to, first of all, you do not have to apologize. That's the beauty about being direct and upfront. Everybody can get an understanding, and we both were able to hear each other and say, okay, moving along. So that's a lesson everybody should learn. Say what you mean and mean what you say, and you would be surprised. It will keep things from becoming an issue. That's number one.
But this was a big lesson. This is what I'm saying, though. How many times I'm going to go over whatever. I'm about to be petty. Okay. How many times have anyone ever missed out on an opportunity because of miscommunication? You dropped out of a friendship. You dropped out of a business relationship. You missed out on something because of a freaking miscommunication. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
We're in this era now where, especially us Black women that actually care about starting our own businesses, advancing the agenda of our people, we're so few and far between. We don't have time for miscommunications. Period.
Very true.
Our men are mass incarcerated. Okay, that's one. So they aren't providing businesses. Two, we are getting degrees at a faster rate, but we're starting businesses. They're failing at a more double than the industry standard. And then on top of that, our net worth is $1.
Yeah.
And if we can't bond together, who else is going to bond with us? If we can't team together and figure it out, why would we expect anybody else to team together?
It's absolutely right. And that's why I kind of learned, if you just put it out there and say it. I learned from a long time ago. I observe, and I'm weird. I really love people watching. I'm 2 classes away from actually having a bachelor's degree in sociology. I love sociology. And just observing people. And I noticed that a lot of the problems that we have, we really create them because we refuse to open up our mouths and communicate with one another. And if you would just say what you feel or what you thought directly to the person, and give them an opportunity to respond and listen to what they're saying, a lot of stuff is just, and you can move on. And we've got to learn how to do that and not have so much of this. I don't know where the anxiety comes from that people have in their heads of thinking, oh, they're going to think this, or they're going to, just say whatever it is. You can be respectful about it and listen to what they have to say. And 99% of things you can move on from, like you said, instead of missing all these tremendous opportunities, just because of a miscommunication. And if you would have said something, it'd be done, and you can keep moving forward and working with people in the future and going out here and getting what you should be getting. So,
yo, you know how hard it is? Like, it is so, you're probably speaking to 90% of the population, how hard it is to like say what you feel. As much as they say black women, you know, all this stuff, half of us don't even say what we feel, but we will go back behind your back and say what we feel to somebody else and not to you.
Yep. I'm gonna go tell my mom, I'm gonna tell my friends, I'm gonna tell my cousin, I'm gonna tell everybody except the person that I should have communicated it to. And a lot of times it's just once you do it, it's not that bad. And I know we're over time, but I will say this. I was at a point in my life, and we didn't talk about it that much, but I was spiritually bankrupt, emotionally bankrupt, mentally bankrupt. I was married to a man who was cheating on me, not coming home for 3 or 4 nights at a time. I was in a physically abusive relationship. I had all these so-called friends around me that were all takers and not real friends. This is when my business was pretty much first starting to. I had a client I had a business partner that stole $25,000 from me, a client that didn't do like a $7,000 check. So that was enough to almost put me under. Everything was terrible. My doctors were like, you're never going to walk again. Your spine is deteriorating. Get prepared to be in a wheelchair. I mean, this was a very difficult time in my life. And I just remember being so low. And I actually did, attempt to take myself out of here. And I would never do that now. But just saying, if I can get out of this, I will never go back to that spot again in my life. And so it taught me so much. And it has a lot to do with how I can help so many women, because some of the things that they're going through, I've already been there. So I can see it in you, whether you want to lie to me or not. So even when I'm working with my clients and they're not producing the way that they should, I will pull them to the side and say, no, what's really going on? Stop lying to me. You got problems with your husband, don't you? Because of this, and that, because I can see it. Now, I didn't know at the time God was taking me through all of that because of the work that he wanted me to do. So that's why I tell people it's much bigger than the money. The money is just a byproduct, and it's a vehicle to get people to what they really should be doing and good places inside of their lives. But after I really started working on myself and taking accountability and saying, yeah, you know what, somebody did do this to me and I don't think I deserved it, and it was very hurtful and it was very nasty, but what did I ignore before I got to that point? What did I do to help provoke that? Not saying, and a lot of us have problems taking accountability and saying, what part did I play in that? And just because you take accountability or you acknowledge your part, it does not take away what they did or mean it wasn't wrong or hurtful. It's not saying it's your fault. It's just saying I've learned better and I'm not going to do that anymore. And then the same way of saying, well, what have I done right in my life? Let me assess that too, so I can do some more of that. And saying, what do I want my life to be? Let me really work on that. And so now I'm in an amazing place in my life. And like you were talking about the Black women far and few in between, it's not. There's actually a lot of us, we're just kind of in hiding because we've had so many negative experiences. But once I changed my life, it's like I expect now to meet other amazing, beautiful Black women who are powerful and strong and progressive and want to support one another. So all those places that I was bankrupt in, I'm now filled up and it's overflowing. It's kind of like even this opportunity to be here. And I thank you guys so much for having me. And I appreciate tremendously what y'all are doing for our community, because it's needed, because there's so many negative images of us out there. And when you look at reality TV shows, which you're bombarded about, it paints the picture that none of us can get along. And we know that is not true. There are tons of us who actually support each other. We make major moves. We create magic, together. So it's important to have things like this out there. And so once I really started working on that, I feel like I started attracting those types of women to me. And then like, okay, I'm gonna use my discernment now, because all that crap that I went through, but it taught me how to be smarter. It taught me how to recognize takers. It taught me how to be cleaner. It taught me how to think on my feet. It taught me how to dig myself out of a pit. It taught me how strong I really was, what I can really take. It taught me endurance, right? It gave me all these other skills and tools that it did not feel good while I was gaining them, but I have them now. And so it's been able to help me really, you know, transition into another level and keep always progressive. So everything is, you know, a cycle. And like you were saying in the beginning, a lot of times people ask, well, why did this happen to me? No, why not me? And not that it happened to me, it happened for me. What am I supposed to learn from this?
Yes.
What am I supposed to learn? Now let me take it and keep it popping and make sure I can keep improving my life.
This was the best movie. You know how like you go through like the laughing, the crying, like the bipolar, like, oh my God. Laughing, then I was crying, then I was laughing again, I was crying again. Girl, you're like the perfect movie. Where the heck is your Academy Award? Like you need to, like, we need to document this. This needs to be a documentary for real.
Oh my God, everybody always says that. No,
amazing.
like all of us have a story. I'm just transparent. I'm open with mine.
Yes.
That's all it is. I'm open with mine because something else I realized in the midst of all that crap that was in my life, 80% of that stuff I had brought on myself because I was a liar. I didn't know I was a liar, but I was a liar back then. And I wouldn't lie, be like, girl, the sky's red. Not like that. I didn't lie about, you know, how much money I made. It wasn't that type of lies, but I was so worried about what other people thought about me and what they would say about me. And I would get up every day and put on my makeup and go outside and pretend like everything was okay. And I would even listen to other people with their problems and have nerve enough to sit there and pray for them and help them. And my life was in shambles. And I was hiding the fact that I was married to, you know, an alcoholic husband. I was hiding the fact that he was cheating on me, that we were in the house fighting each other. I was a liar. And I was going out trying to pretend like everything was okay. And I was so worried about what people would say about me that I was willing to live in misery. I was willing to live in bondage. And so I learned it doesn't matter. If I'm transparent about my story, then I take the power for it and I'm able to use it for good. And I'm able to use it to keep propelling me forward. So, you know, anytime we try and hide stuff, we're really giving the enemy power over us. If you take it and embrace it, now I'm not saying just go out and tell everybody all your business. That's not what I'm saying. But, you know, really look at your story and embracing it. And now you render anyone who tries to come against you powerless. You can't tell nothing on me. I told it on myself. Okay. Now, and what? Now I told, look, and I did one better. I learned something from it. Okay. What are you doing? Right. And keep moving forward. So that's how all of us have stories. Women are amazing, especially African-American women. We have had to endure so much since the time they brought us over here into America. Just to be able to stand and to continue to progress and to grow and become better. And all of us are always in the mode of, you know, self-improvement and trying to help one another out and building our communities. And we have so much adversity against us. Even whenever you look at, you know, the dissension of our families and they're always trying to lock up our husbands and sons and brothers and nephews and cousins. And, you know, then, you know, you'd have a master back in the day raping you. And there was all this stuff that we've had to overcome. We're incredible. If you look at all of that and all the times they tried to take us out, but we're still here and we're still dominating. We're incredible. Black girl magic is real.
Yes. Black girl freaking magic. Me, I'm so empowered. Like, yo, I'm like, yes. I'm now.
It's nothing. Every woman just needs to remember, if you're listening and you're a sister girl, you are built for this. You come from tough stuff. Success and power and strength is really courses through the blood of every single African-American woman walking around on this planet.
That's the quote.
That's it. She drops the MF in Mike. And thank you so much. You are exceptional and you're an inspiration. And I'm so happy we got to hear this story and we get to share it. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much. And sorry, I'm a little stiff. I have to, like I said, I got problems with my rotation today, but you know,
so we're praying for you. We're praying for you speedy recovery. We're praying for you. Yeah, have a good night, everyone.
It's just a flare up. Y'all too. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.